Couldn't look away from the train wreck. You can blame it on the tech for the disrespect. Before you play, you better button check.
What is up, Butt Check family? Welcome back to yet again a beautiful day. It is Sunday. The weekend is still here. We still done made it. Thank you guys for tuning in one more time. Chapters down below, sub button right there. We just posted last night, late last night, but it's still there. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We got a hot one today. The plan is to post two today. So this one obviously, and then one later tonight. So without further ado, let's check these hot ass buttons. Let's go. All right, next up for them EVO lineup registration leaderboard, surprising numbers, buttons that need to be checked. All right, let's unpack this. So EVO posted this just a few days ago. You see the arena lineup registration leaderboard as of July 1st. Let's check this out. Street Fighter 6, number 1. That is no damn surprise, but Tekken 8, number 2. I like to see that. After all the shit talk, after all this game is dead, we're not playing it no more, the numbers is dwindling at the locals, it is still number 2 at EVO. That actually does surprise me, honestly, because it kind of like, you kind of feel the vibe of what's going on and you start thinking like, oh shit, this game is really dying. Because some people say it's still alive. We just covered the story the other day, right? They're saying it's still alive, but it's offline. Like, people actually really still enjoy this game. And then others are like, yeah, but a lot of people done left and they're not coming back. It's just impossible to play online anymore. But here we go. It is number 2. That's great to see. Now, number 3, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. That one is surprising. Because so many people thought this was shit. You know, it didn't sell great. Obviously, there's a lot of money. And let me say that again. There's a lot of money. And that's the key to this damn number. We'll talk about that in a second. Guilty Gear Strive, number 4. Grand Blue, we talk about number 5. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, number 6. Under Night Inverse 7. Mortal Kombat 1, number 8. Is we surprised at that number? No, we are not. Matter of fact, if Mortal Kombat 1 wasn't even on there, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, we get to some quick FGC reaction. Say no lie, I would love to see Ultra Street Fighter 4 back at EVO, so would I. I had the most lit top 8 grand final matches. Dang, MK1, maybe you should slide, maybe I should slide to EVO, LOL. Please stop wasting everyone's time with MK. Nobody cares about that sorry ass game. Kinda surprised the COTW being that high. I keep seeing the game is super dead, but maybe what I saw was wrong. Remove MK1, Soul Calibur 2, Strive is dead, question mark, and where do all these COTW players come from? Remove MK1 and add fighters, and there you have it. So it kind of keeps going on from there. Tekken 8, that one I was kind of iffy on. I knew it was going to be top 3. I just didn't know if it was going to be 2 or 3. Now, Fatal Fury though, that one we covered, what, I want to say sometime last week. They upped the money for EVO. The prize pot, what was it, y'all? Like 40, it's something, I can't remember, but it's at least $40,000 for the fucking prize pot. The bonus pot, some shit like that. They're paying out something crazy, like their top 16 players, right? And top 16 gets like $3,000, like everybody gets at least $3,000. So we were saying like, holy shit. If you're going to EVO, why not register for some fucking Fatal Fury? Because the money is like no other. Shit, at this point, the damn total prize pool might be more than Street Fighter 6. I don't know what the total for Street Fighter 6 is. I think the baseline for Street Fighter 6 this year is 30K, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. It could be lower than that, but from when I was looking up, it looked around 30K. So as of right now, it looks like fucking Fatal Fury, because all the money they got pouring into this game is more than that. As of right now, like I said, we'll see what happens. So since it's so high, I'm not surprised that it's number 3. I didn't know, you know, as far as sales and all that, it doesn't, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be affecting any of that with all the money they're pouring into it. But as far as tournaments, it definitely does. And I think a lot of people are seeing that. They're like, shit, I'm there, might as well sign up. Shit, if I could at least make top 16, I'm getting my 3 Gs. And then MK1, number 8. A lot of people say it's a shame, maybe I should support it, or maybe it should just die and give a slot to a game that people actually enjoy. But like we were saying earlier, there's still a lot of people, I've read the comments, I've seen some of the responses from the pros, they're like, we actually enjoyed the game right before they announced that technically they were moving on. It was in a good state, and it's a shame because maybe this game could have continued and got even better. But at the same time, you already know what it is. So unfortunately, MK1 is number 8. Some people feel that it doesn't even need to be there. There's the leaderboard for now. How y'all feeling? let me know. All right, now into them first set of Abba and Preach getting on Ludwig's ass buttons that need to be checked. I found this very interesting because I didn't even know Ludwig or FGC or any of us was on Abba and Preach's radar. For those that don't know, Abba and Preach been around for a hot minute. They have over 2 million subscribers. They talk about certain topics, drama, basically anything under the sun, and they're very popular. I've never seen them talk about anything FGC, anything Smash related or anything like that. And now somehow, for some reason, they're actually talking about Ludwig. I guess that's how big this whole situation has gotten. They talked about it originally, I just found out, like 9 days ago. Well, that one I haven't seen, but this one we're watching for the first time because they just posted it today. It's titled, I Did Nothing Wrong, Ludwig Responds. So that's how big, and you guys already know what the situation with Ludwig and Mango and the drunken burial cart and all that mess. So anyway, we're about to check this out for the first time because I'm very interested to see what these guys that are technically considered outsiders from the whole FGC, see what they have to think about this. Let's go.
As we did the last video, do you remember the Ludwig guy?
Yes.
Okay, that guy. Quick little recap of what happened in the last video, by the way. Ludwig has a friend who's called Mango. These are streamers, part of the Super Smash community, and Ludwig is one of the biggest streamers on Twitch. He runs an event where people are drinking alcohol and trying to last. His friend who's an alcoholic, he invites him. Dude starts acting inappropriate, and then you can see kind of footage of people egging him on to drink more.
I gave him the beer. Yeah. Can we zoom in on that?
Stand.
You have even people be like, should he be drinking? And Ludwig's over there like, he's actually an alcoholic.
Guys, Mango just blew a .25!
How's that a yay?
Mango is like an alcoholic. If you ask him how many beers he's had lifetime, it's probably above 10,000. He's the two-time champion. He's never lost.
They said, isn't this event enabling him? And he was like, well, he's the two-time champion. It was more focused on the belt. This man, how you gonna talk to the champ like that? Anyway, let's continue.
His streams often involve him drinking heavily, and many tournament attendees have stories of seeing Mango drinking or already drunk during tournaments.
And at one point he does a breathalyzer and it shows like 0.32, which is, or the point where you can actually start to die and pass out, is around 0.3 or 0.4.
And 0.4 is critical, and he was at 0.32.
Right? And they're telling him keep going. And they're celebrating when he's drinking to that point.
Mango just blew a .32!
It is what it is. And that is what it is, bro. And I actually genuinely have no ill will towards any drama channel who makes videos. Like, I think it is a hustle. It is a career that they have made. They speak on any drama for 20 minutes and they move on. I think the actual care about the things they talk about factor is very small. But like, that's fine. You know, it's like, it's a hustle. But I understand drama pays the bills quite well. You make a video 20 minutes every day about some shit you can talk about, get a couple 100,000 views. That's an easy life. That's a good life. So, you know, I can't blame the hustle. I understand why they do it.
So, you know, it's not really a big deal. This is all drama. My girlfriend and my friend were sexually harassed, so I had to ban him. But it's just drama. Do you ban him for drama? Is sexual harassment, according to you, drama? It's like, that's somebody with an addiction, and you're egging them on. To call that just drama is just very weird. It's a very bizarre way to just downplay your involvement in this. I guess he's trying to say he's above it all, to like talk about it. So he's above the drama, right? Huge YouTuber drama.
Okay. This part, check this shit out. They're actually showing, I guess, stuff that he's talked about in the past. And it's all drama, 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 drama. How are you above the drama? Look at this shit. These are your videos. Let's rewind right here.
To like talk about it. So he's above the drama, right? Huge YouTuber drama. Huge update on the Twitch drama. I don't do drama. I would never. Oh, more fucking Twitch streamers whining about bullshit. It's like, it's fine, bro. Huge Minecraft drama.
The word drama is in his lexicon.
It's just like, what is this guy yapping about?
Drama.
Apparently.
He had a fucking clue.
Like, he's above it, but it's his biggest videos. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Think about the people who are watching you, who may have friends who are drug addicted, who may have alcohol issues, or they be not doing what they need to do to help their friend not engage in bad behavior. Yes, he has to be accountable for his own stuff, but we also have an influence I've stopped my friends from doing a bunch of dumb shit in their life, especially the ones who I knew had some issues in some regards. I've stopped plenty of them because in those moments they needed me to, because they weren't thinking right. Sometimes when we go out together, we gotta watch out for each other. How many girls go out in groups of people? If one of the girls just get too drunk, they have to drag her ass back home, make sure she get in the Uber with her. It's normal. What you guys did is the opposite of that. You fucking threw him to the wolves, and you were doing it on camera. That's all I'm saying. You know how many alcoholics or in these comments or think like, yo, if Ludwig is that kind of friend to me, I may not be here today.
I can't control that aspect. I don't need to be liked by people, but it is what it is. And I thought about like maybe I should make a mogul mail and address it all and talk about it. And then I was like, well, who am I doing this for? Ultimately, I'm doing it to change the opinion that other people have of me, as opposed to doing what I think is actually more important, which is just, you know, going through life, attempting to be better in different arenas. It doesn't matter if people think I'm doing better. It matters if I think I'm doing better and the people around me think I'm doing better. I don't need to change people's minds and whatnot. That is like a purely selfish endeavor to be viewed upon more favorably, but who cares about being viewed upon more favorably?
Well, you know, you shouldn't focus on trying to be liked by people. What does this have to do with being liked? Even if they all hate you after you do your response, you should still do it.
If I can sum it up, he doesn't care. He didn't introspect. And that's fine. Didn't look within or whatever, or look at what we're doing. Anybody was saying, I'm not saying that he's talking necessarily about us. He's probably talking about other people. Probably other people talked about it. It's always good to ask yourself the questions. Was there somewhere, something there to look at? Did I act accordingly? There's some questions to ask. I don't think he did the work. To me, he doesn't look like he cares. I'm not surprised that he doesn't care. I just thought about some things. Just thought on me. That he's talking about all the people talking about this drama, these drama channels. You know, it's a living. It's a business. You make a quick video, 20 minutes, you talk about something, then you don't talk about it. It's funny enough. We could say the same thing about what he's doing. He used Mango, did whatever he had to do, monetized it, then ditched him, and then whatever. Went on to your life because you're just trying to go through life.
So if I'm like Ludwig's advocate, he probably thinks he does care because he's checking in with the man himself and he's making an effort to look into his well-being. So he'd probably argue he does care.
Sure. But when I'm talking about the care, you talk about the caring for his friend, right?
Which is the most important thing, right?
Which is the most important thing, and I agree with you. He does probably care about his friend. I'm talking about the little step further where are you accountable? Do you realize what you actually did and you enticed him to do that?
Okay, why is it important for him to speak about that publicly?
He didn't have to speak about that, but I don't think the work was necessarily done about, hey, listen, I pushed my friend to do that. So I think two things can coexist, where you can care for a person and not realize that you're doing something that can hurt them. And that's the thing that is complicated, is that in a Venn diagram, there's a part where you still care. But there's a part of that bubble where you at that crosses over where you care and you fuck their life up.
All right, so we're going to stop right there. Link down below to check out the rest of their video. Their video is over 12 minutes long. All right, here's the thing. I can kind of see where they're going with this. Obviously, I think a lot of us probably feel that way. I kind of expressed some of those thoughts in one of my last videos about this same subject. I think to me, it all comes down to this whole social media thing is so damn new. And I've said this before, we act like it's been here forever because it feels like it has, but really it hasn't. I remember when I moved to Texas, y'all. I moved to Texas from California in 1997. There was no fucking internet. There was no cell phones. Nothing. We still had beepers. You know what I'm saying? Imagine living in a time with no cell phones and no internet. I remember like yesterday when that shit dropped and everybody's lives changed, you know, with the dial-up and all that other stuff. I remember that. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is it's still fairly new. It's brand new as far as I'm concerned in our lives. So we go on to embrace it, whether it's through advertising, entertainment, or content creators, and we just do it. There's no school for this shit. Nobody really teaches you how to act and react to being a content creator. You kind of just fall into it. You see somebody else do it, and then you do it. You never really think that it's gonna be your turn to be like drama. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be your turn where people are like, fuck this guy, I don't like him. Nobody ever thinks about that. Nobody's ever taught to how to deal with hundreds or thousands, maybe even millions of people that you've never met fucking hating you. Nobody teaches you what that feels like or how you're supposed to react to it, right? So you tend to react how you would offline, in real life. And I think that's where Ludwig is fucking up. Because on one hand, he could be doing a lot of caring shit that we don't see. I'm still his homie. I'm still talking to him. I'm still trying to help him out. Shit, he could be paying for his rehab. I don't know. We don't know none of that. We don't know what he's having behind closed doors with his girlfriend and all that, talking about, I really fucked up. I'm sorry. I do feel bad. We don't see none of that. So he could actually be a good friend. The problem is, what we do see is him barely mentioning any of that, just like lightly, but really leaning into, people don't need to like me. It is what it is. If you don't like me, that's chill. You know what I'm saying? Who am I doing it for? Why do I got to apologize? That's the fucking thing. If that's what you're leaving out there for your whole fucking audience to see, that's where it falls short. And that's where people are going to connect, because people can only see what they see. So they're going to take that and they're going to be like, fuck, this guy doesn't care. Fuck, he really is dropping the ball. Like, holy shit, how could he just lean into all this shit? Fact remains, and I'll wrap it up with this, is you are a content creator at the end of the day. So unfortunately, you do have to do a public statement. If you do a public fuck up, you have to do a public statement, a public apology, something. You can't just be like, well, I fucked up, it is what it is. Everything else is private. No. You made your life public, and that's the thing we have to understand as content creators, because it's hard to wrap your mind around that shit sometimes, is our lives are pretty much public. Not 100%, but a lot. Enough to where we have to address the shit. Just like any candidate, I know it sounds weird, but any political candidate, news reporter, entertainer, and an actor, anytime they're involved in a scandal or some shit going on, they make a statement. Whether it's big or small, they have to do something to the public, and then they keep it pushing, and they hope that they can keep building off their career. We're technically in that same line of fire. Now, we're not on the same level as them, but we're in that same line of fire because technically we are in some sort of public eye. So that's what I think Ludwig has to understand. He is a public figure, and we know he is, and he knows it. He knows that shit. But for some reason, when it comes to this, he's turning it off for some reason and being like, nah, it is what it is. This is private. Who am I doing it for? Fuck, you don't have to like me. You can't, you just can't do that. So anyway, at the end of the day, I thought it was interesting because I was like, I didn't know that there were like huge content creators that usually don't cover FGC video games or anything like that actually talking about this from my point of view. Because I've watched Abba Preach sometimes in the past. Not all of their stuff. Matter of fact, I haven't seen them in quite a few months. But this literally just popped up on my feed. And I was like, holy shit, these guys are talking about it? Either way, like I said, links down below. How y'all feeling? Let me know. That it is, Butt Check family. Definitely let me know how you're feeling. Thank you for stopping by on this beautiful Sunday. I'm gonna do my best to post one tonight. Not really sure what it is yet, but we got a lot happening. So either way, I don't know what it is, but I know somehow, some way, it's about to get better. Love y'all, fella. Peace.
Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.
You can.